Welcome everyone to our July session of the virtual learning series. So happy to have all of you here today. I am so thankful that Megan Corkery is with us. She is one of my awesome colleagues here at the Career Center who has just taken over the leadership of our big interview program and doing a lot around AI. We also have Rachel King here as backup knowledge expert who has led the big interview program for many years. And so thankful that all of you have joined us today to learn about this platform and how you might use it with your students. But with that, I'll hand it over to Megan. Megan, feel free to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your role here at the Career Center, and then feel free to introduce Big Interview.
Sounds great. Thanks so much, Suzanne. Hi, everybody. Yeah, my name is Megan Corkery, and I have been a career coach here at the Career Center for about 12 years, which sounds wild to say out loud. That is a long time. And just about a month ago, I transitioned into sort of a new aspect of my job where I'm taking over the big interview program that Rachel King, who is here today, used to oversee. And so she has trained me up, and I'm a month in, so I'm going to show you guys today some features of the program and things that hopefully will make you excited to participate in this with your classes this coming semester or in the spring. And so this will not take too long, so you can get back to like eating some lunch here in a little bit. But yeah, so I work with my other capacity of my job is working with the career community for engineering, manufacturing, and energy. And so I see mostly engineering students, but occasionally I'll get a physics major and a math major and that type of thing. And so yeah, that's the main part of my job. But then another sliver of my job is big interview. And I think this is a fantastic platform that we have here in our office that's available to all students, undergrad, graduate, as well as alumni can continue to use this service after they graduate. And then students can use it on an individual basis. So we as career coaches here at the Career Center, we always recommend students typically start with big interview and then schedule an appointment with a career coach for either a face-to-face or a virtual practice interview. But the nice thing about big interview is it allows students to kind of get their feet wet a little bit from the comfort of their own home. They could do it any time of day. So if they want to do a practice interview at 2 a.m., they can. So it's very accessible and hopefully takes a little bit of that initial nerves out to practice sort of in a virtual platform where they feel like they're not being watched by a human just yet. And then it kind of helps them ease into those face-to-face interviews. So students can use it on an individual basis. And then the other way is to do it through a class assignment, which is probably why many of you are here today. So you can incorporate this into your classroom and make it a requirement for as part of your syllabus. And so the way it all works, if you are wanting to request a class assignment for one of your classes, you start by going to our website, career.charlotte.edu. You're going to click on the faculty staff link. You're going to go down here to where it says classroom engagement. And then from there, you're going to click career assignments. And you can see here we have a variety of topics that you can request for assignments, and one of those is big interview. So you're going to click on big interview, and then it's going to give you a little bit of information about the program and how it works. And then it also explains kind of how it will work for your students. They do have to have a webcam. If for some reason they do not have a device that has a webcam, we have some information here about how they can get access to that here on campus. But when you're ready to request your assignment, you're going to click right here where it says request big interview assignment. You log in with your NinerNet credentials. And then you'll see here it's really easy and self-explanatory. It's not a very long form, but you're going to select the criteria that's applicable for you. So likely academic course. You're going to select your course information from the drop-down menu here. And then you're going to put in the number of students in your class. And then from there, you're going to click big interview assignment. And then from there, you're going to just continue to answer these questions. The assignment due date, this is entirely up to you. So you can pick when you want your due date. And so basically what that'll do is that is the due date that your students have to complete the assignment within Big Interview. A couple days before your due date, you'll get an email from me letting you know which of your students have not completed the assignment yet. So we'll kind of keep you updated, on how your class progress is going. And then 2 days after the due date, you will receive an email from me that gives you your students' AI scores. And I'll explain that in a little bit. But essentially, the AI score is an equivalent to a grade, so to speak. So um, most of these are pass fail, but we can technically put a grade, associated with whatever their AI score is. I'm going to talk about AI scoring in a little bit, but 2 days after you pick your assignment due date, you'll get that AI score from me. Um, and then as far as the assignment options go, this is letting you choose whether you want to do faculty driven mock interviews or AI. Now, the difference between these is the faculty driven, this is where you will go into Big Interview after the due date closes and you would actually review each of the individual interviews. AI driven is where you allow the AI in the system to do the review of their each individual interview. Most faculty tend to choose AI driven, understandably so, because it's quite time consuming, but we do have some that want to do it themselves, and that's totally fine. You get to you can choose up to 5 questions for the assignment, so the students will be required to do anywhere from, most faculty choose 4 or 5, but 5 is the max. And then you can actually choose whether or not you want to select the 5 questions. Like, you can let us know in advance what you want those questions to be, or you can have us pick the questions for you based on the major or the industry area. So that's pretty much it in terms of submitting an assignment request. So once you fill this form out, it comes right over to me, and I will get your assignment set up and running in our Big Interview platform. Um, from there, when you get an email confirmation from me, you're going to get this sheet right here that basically just gives the assignment instructions and the assignment code associated with your class's assignment. This is the code that the students are going to use when they go into Big Interview to do their assignment. But you can see here it's going to give you information, and this is the assignment sheet that you can share with the students. So you'll get that in the email. You will also get the AI rubric. So this kind of just breaks down. So if you choose the AI generated score, this is just going to break down how the AI feedback works. And then the other thing you will also receive is the I must have accidentally clicked out of, oh, this one. Yeah, the self-reflection activity. This is not required, but I always send this to faculty in case you decide you want to use this as part of your assignment for the students. So you'll also receive this too. So I want to take you guys in now. I guess before I jump into the actual platform and show you how the AI scoring works and everything like that, does anybody have any questions so far about how to request an assignment? Everybody good? Okay. Great. So now I want to show you how kind of it all works. So let me first actually back up and just show you how to get here. So you're going to go to biginterview.charlotte.edu. This is where your students will go. And again, this is all in the assignment sheet. But the students log in through their NinerNet credentials. This is what it looks like. Um, and when they are ready to do their assignment, they go to assignments, they put in the code, and then that it will prompt them to go to their specific assignment. Um, Now, what I want to do is also, while I'm on this side of things, I wanted to just also show you a little bit of what it looks like if a student were to practice individually using Big Interview. So there's a couple different things they can do, but the practice sets allows them to choose what type of interview they want to practice with. So like if a student wanted to dive a little deeper beyond the assignment for your class, they could click industry, for example. They can come in here and select which industry is applicable to them. So they can click engineering. If they're doing the biomedical concentration, they could click on that. And then you can see here, it's going to give them some biomedical engineering interview questions. And then when you click into these, it will show how those questions are generated from that industry. So it's just a really neat platform. It's very easy to use. And so just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of a feel from the student side. Now I'm going to jump over to the admin side. And what I want to do is show you guys how the AI side works. So when your student completes their assignment, so in this case, there were 3 questions. What they can then do is go and read over what their AI score means. So the system does it by 3 metals. So you either get bronze, silver, or gold for each question, and then you get an overall score. And so for each of the questions, you can go in and see what was your score. So in this case, for tell me about yourself, it was silver. And if you want to dive further into what does that mean, you go check AI score breakdown. And then this is where it does an amazing job of kind of breaking down the question, if it'll load for me. Okay, here we go. And into these different categories. So it'll even count how many times you said your use of filler words, your eye contact. And so when using this, the recommendation is to make eye contact into the camera so that the AI score will be better for those types of things. It even looks at the your tone, your volume, authenticity, the lighting in the room. So having a set of blinds behind you and light coming from behind you is not always great. You want the light to come from the front. So it really does an amazing job. Even though it is AI, it does an incredible job of breaking down all these different categories. And when you click on one, you can click the learn more part, and it's going to tell you in even more detail about that specific category. So this is just a really great tool. And like I said, you can do this for each of the questions and then go to the AI score breakdown and it'll give you all those details. So that's kind of how the AI side works. Um, and like I said, when you all request an assignment 2 days after your due date, if you selected AI generated scoring, then you will receive the compiled list of AI scores of your students. And then from there, you'll see, the student's name, and then it'll say whether they got a bronze, silver, or gold. And a lot of times faculty are like, well, how do I compute this to a grade? So we say that a bronze is considered a C, a silver is a B, and a gold is an A. We don't really go anywhere below that because ultimately, if they participated, then they get a grade. So yeah, I think that was everything I wanted to show you guys. Um, Rachel, I'm gonna check in with you. Did I miss anything that you can think of that I should have been talking about?
The only other thing I would add is, unfortunately, the system does not allow students to download their AI feedback. This is feedback I have given to the big interview team because I think it would be useful if they could download this feedback in some format and allow them to share it with you. They're not there yet, but what we can do is give you administrative access to the platform. So if you would like that, you can just request that through Megan, and we'll give you that admin side, and then you can go in and review your class assignment. So if you want to see how your students performed according to the AI, we can definitely make that happen for you. But other than that, I think you covered the basics for sure.
Thanks, Rachel. So I will open it up to, I told you guys this was not going to be very long. Do y'all have any questions for me?
We have a few questions in the chat, which I'm happy to read. One of them is, can students redo an answer to a question after the feedback has been given to get a higher grade from AI?
We'll let Rachel take that one.
So yes and no. So, which I know is very confusing. So once they submit an assignment, that assignment is submitted. They can't go back and redo a question after they've fully submitted it. Now, when they're still working on the question, they can record themselves, they can watch themselves back, and if they're not satisfied with how they answered things, they can definitely re-record. We don't limit the number of takes they can have. Now, if they submit and a student gets their score and they're not satisfied with it, you can absolutely reach out to us, and what we can do is we can unsubmit that assignment, and then that will give them a chance to redo it, and try again, so to speak. The other option is if they want to just practice on their own, they can go find that question in the practice section within Big Interview and keep recording that question as many times as they want to see how they might improve. I hope that answers the question. But for a class assignment, once it's submitted, it's submitted. We will have to unsubmit that assignment for them if they want to redo it. So I hope that answers it.
All right, and then Stephen asked, let's say I have a class of 45 students and I would like each student to answer 5 questions relating to the accounting financial operations industry, which he says, I think that's one of the industry areas in Big Interview. Is it possible for the program, let's see, I want to make sure I read this right. Is it possible to program the software so that each student is assigned different questions? If all 45 students are asked the exact same question, sadly, I can't see some students who may use the software early leaking the 5 questions to their classmates who may complete the assignment later.
Unfortunately, there's no easy way to do that. What we would have to do is set up a specific assignment for each student, and make sure that each of those questions are changed. It wouldn't be terribly difficult. It could be a little bit time consuming, but that's something that Megan and I could certainly help her with. We could talk about that. The other option I think would be to have them go in on their own and go back to that initial practice section that Megan showed you, where you can see the different types of questions you can choose from, and you can require them to choose a certain question set that they respond to. There might be some way we can assist you with setting that up, but through the assignment side, there's no unfortunately easy way to do that because the questions are universal for that assignment.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I would also add, if for some reason that did happen, which, it could, if students know the questions in advance and then they like pre-prepare an answer, let's say, the AI is gonna start to recognize like if they're reading from a script or something.
Yeah.
And so their score will be impacted. So there's a little bit of mitigating that possibly on on their scoring side. Um, so yeah, I feel like if it were to happen, then there would be a little bit of a consequence for it because of the AI is not going to like it if they're just reading from a script.
That's great to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, that's part of what that authenticity part of the AI feedback looks at, is if they're reading their answers and that's
Okay.
so it's not a flawless, AI is not flawless, but it actually does a really, really great job giving students very tangible feedback on their interview skills.
We have
I
another
think
question. Oh, sorry,
I,
Stephen.
I
Go
just
ahead.
wanted to say I'm impressed. Like I think
Yeah,
it's a really cool tool because
it is, yeah.
some of the metrics, like counting the number of instances of are easier to quantify, but the fact that the software is smart enough that it can judge some of these other things that are a little bit more subjective, but still try to come up with a rubric around tone and authenticity is quite sophisticated.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been pretty impressed with it for sure.
Another
Thanks.
question is, do the students get AI feedback before they submit their question?
Great question. Hi, Ludmila. So they do not. They have to submit before that AI feedback is generated.
Okay. Let's see. If they do the practice set, would they get an AI grade for their practice questions?
Yes. Yes. I can't remember, Megan, if you don't mind clicking on one of the question sets. I can't remember if it gives them the option to toggle it on or if it's automatic, but yes, the practicing would generate AI feedback regardless.
Are you talking about this part, Rach?
Yeah, I didn't. So with a class assignment, when we create one, we can toggle the AI feedback on or off. We've put it on because that's the purpose of the
What
review
type of
piece. Oh,
describe a time where they sorry.
oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that was the question. So we use AI for all of our class assignments, and I was not sure if it toggled on for the practice side, but it's autumn. If we don't see it here, that means it's automatic, but they will get that AI feedback.
Someone wants to know, is this appropriate for graduate level master students?
Absolutely. Have several grad classes that use Big Interview.
Someone asked for the link. I will be sending out this video, all the links for the presentation, as well as the resources that Megan showed earlier. So you will get that after our session. Let's see here. Are we able to test drive this application before we decide to use it for one of our classes? I'll start with that first, and then I'll answer the second part.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We can create a test assignment in there, and if we can send you that code, and if you want to go in and practice as a student would practice and kind of see what feedback you would get, that's very easy to do.
Second part of the question, can we request this tool for professional credit courses as opposed to academic credit courses?
Yes, for sure. So we primarily, sorry, Megan, I'm sorry, I'm answering all these questions.
It's great. No, I'm
Um,
learning too.
Okay, good. So, yes, for sure, for professional credit courses, we primarily use it for like course and class assignments, absolutely, but we're not limiting on that. There's a lot of departments on campus actually that will use Big Interview for their hiring. So I know like facilities will post question sets in Big Interview, and they have their student applicants respond to that assignment in Big Interview, and they use that as an interview screening tool. Housing and Residence Life does the same thing. There's also some student groups on campus that will use it. So there's lots of different ways that this tool can be utilized.
Great questions, everyone. I don't see any more new questions in the chat. Feel free to continue to go. I think I got them all. If I missed your question, though, please turn on your microphone and let's ask.
Lumila is a frequent user of
Yes.
our Big Interview tool, and we are grateful that she is such a strong advocate of it. So we have had good feedback from students. We do tell students that, this can never replace like that interpersonal connection. That's important when it comes to, being successful in an interview. But as Megan said in the beginning, this is a really great tool to just start thinking through some of the things you might want to say in a real interview. And then, of course, to help get some of that nervous energy out. So it is a really, really great like initial component to interview development, interview skill development.
Yeah, I'm definitely noticing Gen Z liking this before they come in for the real deal. And I usually tell us, I had a student appointment yesterday, and I thought we were getting ready to do a practice interview, and we were starting it, and it was clear that he needed some more practice before he was ready for this. Even though I'm not a real employer, I said, let's hold on. I want you to go do some big interview practice and then record you. They can record their practice interviews and big interview and send it to their career coach, or they can send it to faculty. You may not want to advertise that they can do that, but they can send it to anyone. And we can watch their videos on big interview. And so I said, go practice. I want you to send this to me first, and then I want you to reschedule for for a virtual practice interview with me. And the relief on his face was tremendous. But yeah, that's another thing I meant to mention is that they can actually record their practice interviews and send it to people.
One of the questions that I'll ask for some of the faculty on the call is, what if I want customizable questions? Is that possible, and how do we go about recording those videos?
I can take this one, I think, Rach. So yes, you can. So when you submit that form on our website, you can indicate there's a comment box. You can put the specific questions that you want. So if you have very specific questions, that is more than fine. You all do not have to record them. I will. So they will get to see me. So if it's a question we've never had in the system before, then I will go in and take the words that you wrote in your comment box for each of the questions and record that and add them. So the students will get to see me ask those questions, but that's not something you guys will have to do. It's pretty easy. So you just write it in the comment box.
Any other questions for the good of the group? If anyone on the call would like additional support, what is the best way to contact you, Megan?
So probably just, my, we do have a big interview email inbox, but I, I open it every day, but I'm more likely to see it if you email me directly. So I'll just write my email address right in here. And then Suzanne, whenever you send your follow-up email with all today's, you can include my email address, but you can call me, you can email me, whatever is easiest for you. I think I saw another question. Do all the students by default get a copy of the video recording after they use the tool? I don't know that they get an email, do they, Rachel? They would have to like log in to see it again.
Right. Yeah, I don't believe they get any sort of recording sent to them. But it's the platform will save their videos. So they can go
Mhm.
back in and under assignments, there's a submitted button, and then they can see the assignments they've submitted and go back and watch those videos if they'd like.
Mhm.
Yeah, right there underneath it says submitted.
Yeah, so it would be right
Students
here.
get AI feedback. Yes, the AI feedback is generated as soon as they complete the assignment. And Megan, I think made this clear, but I'll just reiterate that they will get AI feedback for each question that they record and submit.
And then you said they get an overall feedback as well, right?
They get an overall score.
An overall score.
Yep. So it'll take the average for each of their answers and it
Mhm.
will generate an overall medal score.
Mhm.
But you'll note that each of their questions will also get an individual medal rating. There
Mhm.
is an overall action plan that they can look at, though, for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and push pause on our recording. Thank you so much, Megan, for going over all of those details today.